We have to talk about the Bankowski case.
Nah, it's midnight. I'm going home.
Please just listen. Sit. Tarek Yusek has been writing us letters ever since he was in prison, and we couldn't take the case.
Because his semen was found inside Emily Butler's body.
Wait. In almost every letter, he explains his arrest. In one, he mentioned being photographed by a police photographer.
Again, his semen was found
Will you
inside...
shut up? Sorry. I haven't slept.
That was a scene from The Divide, WE TV's first scripted series. And here with us now, the show's co-star, Marin Ireland, and co-creator, executive producer, and director, Tony Goldwyn. He's just kind of busy lately, just a tad bit. Tony also happens to have an on-camera gig as President Fitzgerald Grant on the hit series Scandal. I've actually started watching Scandal. I'm sort of the unpop cultured one in our family, but my daughter has brought me in, and I have watched you on Scandal.
Oh, well,
you also
good.
playing a polygamist lately? Am I wrong?
I did that. Yeah, I was playing. We did a movie about Warren Jeffs.
Good God.
His sister called
Okay,
Outlaw Prophet,
and
so,
now
yeah.
this, which focuses on the Innocence Project. You've taken this on. Marin is your star. Tell us about The Divide. What's the concept?
The Divide was inspired by a movie I made called Conviction, which was a true story of an Innocence Project case about a man who was wrongfully convicted. And we decided to create a TV series, and Marin plays a young woman just out of law school who is working for our fictionalized version of the Innocence Project in Philadelphia called the Innocence Initiative.
She plays a sexy, whip-smart caseworker with a knack for getting in and out of tricky situations.
You've said it better
You know
than
what?
I ever could
I
have.
get that. Pretty good, right, Thomas?
Very good, yeah.
So she pulls a thread on a very high-profile double murder in which an affluent African-American family had been murdered by supposedly two white guys, and the DA, the African-American DA of Philadelphia, made his career on this case. 12 years later, on the eve of an execution, she finds a piece of evidence, and the whole thing starts to unravel, and the season follows this case as it shakes up everyone's lives involved with it.
Very cool.
So we know that scripted drama around our justice system does well, but it seems as if all of us as viewers are uninformed when it comes to the consequences of our justice system, and we make a lot of assumptions about it. So Marin, let me ask you, what have you learned from attaching yourself to this project, that maybe some assumptions you went in with that have kind of schooled you in the opposite direction?
Well, it's interesting because I feel like something that I didn't really ever take into consideration was that they're human beings, so there's room for error, that all of us can make mistakes. And things that I didn't know a lot about beforehand, like eyewitness misidentification and false confessions, or things that happen all the time, and I really had no idea about any of those things or why they happen, how easy it is for those things to happen. And obviously just the fact that we all make mistakes as human beings, and there's a lot of room for that.
Which is really what our show is about. You know, the justice system is kind of a metaphor for what we all deal with in terms of moral ambiguity, and we think we're doing something for absolutely the right reasons, or our desire to get it right, and you cross all kinds of gray areas, gray zones in that. So.
Oh yeah, Fitz, we know. We know all about you, Fitz. We got your number.
So tell us about your background and also how you prepared for this role. Marin.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually done a lot of theater in the New York community. That's how Tony and I met.
Marin is one of our greatest theater actresses.
So sweet. And I've been lucky, you know, to be able to kind of do some other TV and movie roles while I've been also doing theater and staying active in that. And then for this role in particular, I spent about a month interning at the Innocence Project. They let me play my part in real life there. They were sort of like, yeah, it was incredible. It was actually amazing. It's a legal environment that I hadn't actually seen on television or in a movie before. It's a different kind of law office. It's not like a lot of other places we've seen kind of depicted on screen before. And so being able to be immersed in that for a while was incredible and kind of overwhelming, honestly. While I was actually there, a man named Gerard Richardson was exonerated after 19 years in prison. He came by the office. It was incredibly emotional for everybody there, so I learned a lot.
And what about your character? I read sort of the cheesy description, but what did you learn either about yourself, or what were you able to do with this character or explore in bringing her to life?
When we were always talking about the character, it was somebody who was trying not to let her vulnerability show and was really trying to kind of keep her walls up and stay guarded in all of these difficult situations. And what I really learned firsthand when I was there is how emotionally overwhelming it actually is working with these people and the clients that they're talking to in prison who've been there for 15, 20, 25 years. So I kind of learned firsthand how difficult it is.
Tony, you have a kind of lot of different points of view to this next question. You are, by the way, I just read, the grandson of Samuel Goldwyn. I didn't know that, of Metro Goldwyn Mayer, movie makers. But you're working on WeTV, Scandal. Where do you think television is going? I mean, I don't watch regular television anymore. Do you know what I mean when
I do.
say
I
regular
don't
television?
either. I watch you guys. I watch the news. No, honestly, and then I watch everything in when I want to watch it, what I want to watch. So I think what's happening in our television universe is people are driven by the show. So it's a consumer, audience-driven choice. It's amazing. So now, like, for example, the We Network in the past has been a reality program mainly in reruns, and they're completely rebranding themselves by introducing this very sort of
It's almost random to think of your show on We.
Yeah, well, it's what AMC, which AMC Networks owns We, and they wanted to do with this show what they did with Mad Men on AMC.
Right.
Mad Men had been, AMC had been a movie channel, and they said we're going to, and Mad Men went on, so they're using the Divide to do the same thing, but people hopefully will see the Divide and start talking about it and go,
they are.
You know, and then they'll go to We, and that's good for We, and it's good for, certainly good for us.
Does that lead to, when you have such great shows coming up in places where they're least expected and in places where you can just dial them up? I mean, is that going to be the breakdown of network primetime programming?
You know, I think it's a challenge. It raises the bar. I mean, hopefully, what is the word? You know, you'll correct me. High tide raises all boats, whatever that term is.
Rising tide
lifts all boats. You know, I think that I know Scandal is an example.
Except they can't do things on the network. Like, for example, I'm trying to figure out. My daughters watch Orange Is the New Black. They watch Breaking Bad, and I'm like, I don't know if I want you. I mean, it's great. It's incredible art form, great television, great producing, great acting. My God, amazing. But I'm like, God, there's no restrictions on what they're going to show. I mean, it's changed the dynamic on a lot of levels, and it's made it almost impossible for some networks to compete because they don't have the latitude.
That's
for creativity.
For standards and practices in terms of what you want, nudity and language, but you can do it. I mean, for example, yes, on Scandal, for example, you know, we push it as far as we can on ABC,
you guys
and then a little bit further. But on the Divide, we can't do what HBO does. We're allowed like 2 swear words per thing. But as a storyteller, you go, well, these are our restrictions, and we're still able to do something that feels very real, very authentic, very out there, sometimes very dark. So I think it's a great thing.
Well, The Divide airs on Wednesdays on WeTV at 9 p.m., 8 p.m. Central. Marin Ireland and Tony Goldwyn, thank you so much. It's great to meet you both. Good luck with this. It looks fantastic.
Is Olivia leaving D.C.?
No!
I don't know.
That's my question. That's it.
Tony Joe will be right back.